I'll just say something again, which is that as long as we perceive the body or the mind, we'll always feel on some level that we are body mind. I mean, in truth, the body mind only appears after the ego arises. But one way of saying it is that this movie called Maya that we are watching is so hypnotic. As soon as you look at it, it draws you in, it reels you in. There's no way to look at Maya without entering into her, without entering into Maya. She'll draw you in into her world. There's no way to see her and not be drawn in. There's no way to see the body and the mind and not be identified with the body and mind. Some people, you see some teachings where they say, be aware of the body, be aware of the mind, but do not be attached. It isn't possible. It is not possible. And in fact, if you are seeing the body and the mind, those are symptoms of attachment. Those are symptoms of ignorance. That's the first thing I wanted to say. But the second thing I wanted to say was that if this was not true, if that was not true, then there would be no need to turn within. It's only because that is true that we need to turn within. Does that make sense? If it was possible to be aware of body, mind, world, sorry, just hold on 1 second. Sorry. If it were possible to be aware of body, mind, world, objective phenomena, and not be attached to them, then there would be no need to turn within, and there would be no need for self-inquiry. Does that make sense? There's no need to do self. If you could just drop attachment to body, mind, world while still being aware of them, there'll be no need for self-inquiry. There'll be no need to turn within. The teaching would simply be, hey, the body, the mind, the world, that's not what you are. Let go of attachment. See, they're not you. You are that consciousness in which they appear. That would be the teaching. Literally, the whole teaching could be written on, half a side of A4 paper or whatever paper you use. I don't know if people even know what A4 paper is. It's that half the size of half a page. Do you have A4 paper in the US? No, you haven't. You do? See, different states. Yeah, Vedant knows. Very civilized, clearly. That would be the entire teaching, isn't it? You just need a few teachings. You're not the body, you're not the mind, you're not the world. You are the awareness or the consciousness in which these things arise. Let go. That's it. That's your teaching. Any question asked? That's the teaching. None of this, who am I? Turn within. You wouldn't need to do any of that stuff. Why do we need to do that stuff? Why does Bhagavan advise this? Who am I? Why does he say withdraw the attention from objective phenomena? Plunge the ego into the self, whereupon it dissolves. Why do all the genuine spiritual teachings ask us to do this? It's because of this fact. It's because of this fact it is impossible to observe objective phenomena without considering yourself to be a body mind. And the deeper truth that the seeing of phenomenal arisings is a symptom or a consequence of taking yourself to be a body mind entity, consequence of ignorance or ego. It's because that is the way it is that we need to turn within. If it wasn't like that, that means all of Bhagavan's teachings are just, they're not needed. Now, every time we let go a little, we feel a bit happier. So all these lower teachings can make us feel happier. And every time we feel genuinely, deeply happier, we're coming a bit closer to ourselves. So all these teachings have a role to play in that. All these teachings, all these practices, all these modalities, they all have a role. They are all Bhagavan's teachings. They are all his teachings. But if we allow him to rise from within by his grace, he will show us the way. He is leading us, protecting us always. Rise from within. This means we have to follow our heart. Remember, to follow your heart, you have to be very honest with yourself. Very honest. Otherwise, you may end up following the mind, the ego. In the body, there is suffering. See if you can find all the ways there is suffering in the body. In the mind, there is suffering. See if you can see and find all the ways that paying attention to the body or to the mind will cause suffering. See if you can see all the ways that paying attention to the mind causes suffering. See if you can see all the ways that attaching to the body causes suffering. And going after worldly objects causes suffering. See how this can be the case. Of course, on a practical level, I encourage you all to do what you need to do to survive and thrive. And conduct any responsibilities you have, whether it's looking after dependents or working in your job. Obviously, we want you to do these things properly, respectfully, effectively, with integrity. But also, it's a spiritual exercise. See how all this attachment, how attention to thinking, attention to the body, relying on thinking, how this leads to suffering. And notice how your own true nature is happiness and love and bliss, what you are looking for. Much easier to notice when you're happy and calm. Your mind is quiet. Notice how when you go back out to the world, to the body, to the mind, notice how many ways it can cause suffering. You may be convinced it's going to give you happiness. Excuse me. You may be convinced how it's going to give you happiness, but have a think and see if you can see all the ways it will cause suffering. Notice how all the things you gain on the phenomenal level are temporary. They come and go, they do not last. So they will cause suffering, right? Because they're temporary. And notice how none of them are you. You are truly not in any of them, not in the body, the mind, or the world. None of these are you. None of these are eternal, blissful, or you. And notice the remedy. It is none other than self-attention, or coming back to yourself, letting go of the non-self, coming back intuitively, happily, lovingly, restfully, resting as yourself. You are that which is prior to and beyond all phenomena, no matter how subtle. Allow any blissful states to rise and fall away and go beyond them. Allow the blissful, happy states in, and eventually you'll go beyond them to the supreme bliss, which is not a phenomena, not an object. It is just you. It is Jagrat Shushupti, waking sleep. It is Turiya, the fourth state, that which you truly are. Devoid of waking, dream, deep sleep. Just Bhagavan in his pristine purity. Just yourself. Just pure grace. Shining, unalloyed, unmixed with anything else. Pristine purity. Any questions? Any comments? Any feedback? Good. Okay. Another way to phrase this is self-attention is the way how to continuously and constantly attend to the self. And the brief answer is follow your heart. Sometimes the way to attend to yourself is to directly attend to yourself. Other times the heart will take you outwards seemingly in order to take you inwards. Just like the meandering of a river. As the river goes towards the ocean, sometimes it may turn away from the ocean in order to actually take you towards the ocean. if we don't follow our heart, follow Bhagwan's promptings from within us, we will, you see, the river goes round, it meanders to go round the obstacles to find the path of least resistance. But if we try and go straight through everything, then we'll just hit the obstacle and we'll meet frustration. Whereas if we follow Bhagwan's path that he's already set out for us, that he's leading us on, then we just flow effortlessly around. It may appear to an onlooker that we're going away from the self. It may appear to yourself that you're going away from the self, but you're actually going towards the self. You have to be careful because if you're not honest with yourself, if you're not totally honest with yourself, you could just be indulging in sense objects. You can use this teaching as an excuse to indulge in sense objects. So, Lance, welcome.
I love this. And I think just the opposite is also true, that I think what I do sometimes is my heart wants me, for instance, to do maybe a creative project, like you said, sing and dance. And then my ego is the spiritual policeman that says, no, that's not the path, you know, don't do that. And then I really trip myself up because I think I know the more spiritually correct thing to do.
Exactly. So how do we decide? How do we know? We all have an inner knowing in our heart of what the way is. And then many of us will have a commentary from the mind, a view from the mind of what the best thing to do is. And we have to discern between these two. And how do we discern between these two? Between what Bhagavan wants us to do, or what the heart wants us to do, and what the ego or the mind wants us to do? How do we determine between heart and mind? Well, we're all innately able to do it. You notice I haven't given you a method. I've just said we can all do it. What is required is self-honesty. It's like, how can you tell the difference between blue and green? We can all do it. You just have to be honest. You just have to not fool yourself. And for some of us, that's quite simple and straightforward, but it's not always. Sometimes it can be quite tricky. So that requires time, space. We need to be quiet. We need to listen. We need to look. We need to see if we're deceiving ourselves. Lance, you've mentioned, the creative project. I think you and I had a one-to-one quite a while ago, and I encouraged you to pursue something in your work, didn't I? Quite a while ago, and I think it surprised you. I've had other people, who said to me, "Oh, I've met the girl of my dreams. I've met the woman of my dreams, but I'm not gonna date her. I'm gonna turn away from her." And I'm like, well, sometimes it's good to have a relationship. See, if the mind tries to do it all, then we get all these distortions. Of course, the opposite is true. Sometimes it's not good to go into the relationship. Sometimes it's not good to go for that career or that career change. Bhagwan is guiding us if we listen. He's guiding us anyway, even if we don't listen. So it doesn't really matter too much. We'll find our way. We are finding our way, whether we like it or not. Okay, that seems like a good place to end for today.